So the YouTube algorithm is a petty bitch. Ever since I made that last reaction to the guaranteed profit in sports betting, all I get now is sports betting content left and right. People pitching me picks, but one guy came up and I did not recognize it, and it was this guy. This guy I didn't recognize. He has a video that says what everyone gets wrong about gambling on sports. Now the correct answer to this is everything. Is everything. But this guy here, the extranet Shaquille, I've never heard of this guy. And then I looked into it, and this is actually his second channel. But his main channel is that he's like a cook or a chef. Is he a chef? Is there a difference? Is there a difference between being a chef and a cook? Can you just call yourself a chef? Is that like one of those industries where you could just, it doesn't matter? Like if you can't call yourself a doctor unless you're a doctor, right? You can't just go around saying, I'm Dr. Jordan, how you doing? And here's my medical channel. I can't do that. Right? I mean, you can, but no one will take you seriously. Where like if you're a master electrician, right? You actually have to earn that title. Can anyone just call you chef? Just chef, whatever, it doesn't matter. So he may be a chef, he may be a cook. So to have a video that has to do with sports gambling, like it's just like completely not his wheelhouse. Does this chef know about sports betting more than you? And are there sports betting chefs? Right? There has to be. There has to be someone with that gimmick, right? Because all these fucking touts have some type of fucking gimmick, right? And he probably has some type of cartoon picture on Twitter or something with him with like some type of Italian like Chef Boyardee type of hat, whatever, and a big like ladle or something with the big pot of soup or some shit, right? Saying he's cooking up the plays. He's cooking up the plays for today, right? There has to be. I got someone post in the comments. Can you find me some sports betting chefs? Right? There are a lot of like doctors of sports betting. Of course, they're not fucking doctors, but you know they're always cooking stuff up in the lab, right? You always see these people that are like, oh, going into the lab for a couple hours. I got some plays for you. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. If I get 50 retweets, then you will get the play of the day from the lab, from the fucking lab, and I guarantee you, what this lab looks like for most of these fucking people is just fucking some empty goddamn room, like some like 22-year-old dorm room where it's just like there's no couch, it's like a futon and a fucking 60-inch screen television that's not even on a stand, and that's it, and a PlayStation or some bullshit, right? That's the lab where they're cooking shit up on. But this guy actually has a kitchen, so maybe we should trust him. But yes, he has what everyone gets wrong about gambling on sports. So let's see if this chef, maybe we should decide on that at the end. If he says bullshit, if he says stuff that doesn't make any sense, then he's just a cook. He's a kitchen manager, right? Maybe he's a line cook. What would be the rankings of how we put this? Should we put it on a scale of 1 to 10 that we judge this by? If he's a 10, that's like Michelin star territory. But if he's a 1, he's like the dishwasher. So let's judge him on that scale. So at the end, tell me what position in the kitchen do you think this advice or whatever he's going to talk about is worthy of?
I haven't posted on my main channel since well before Christmas, in part because I've spent a considerable amount of time placing advantaged sports bets. This has been a weird development to people close to me because 1, I don't watch sports. 2,
Basically, he just said that I've been lacking in my regular job because I've been degenerate gambling. That's what it sounds like to me. That's probably what it sounds like to a lot of his family.
super risk averse, and 3, I'm very vocally opposed to sports betting apps. So let me back up and address something that not everybody really understands. Can you be good at gambling? Yes, as evident by pro poker players, pro card counters, and pro sports bettors. The reason why those are really the only examples is that it's all in the concept of expected value.
Ooh, okay. I'm surprised. The chef gets expected value, gets EV. Okay, I'm upgraded. He's not a dishwasher. He's gone up above from dishwasher. He's now somewhere. He's on the line somewhere. Oh, a lot of times, truthfully, most of the time when you try to explain, mathematical concepts of probability and stuff like EV to normal people, their fucking head explodes. They don't know a fucking clue what you're talking about, right? You just bet on a football game. It's like, is this team going to win or that team going to win? The 330 or so thousand people that watch this video may actually learn something. and learn something from not the fucking half these people that you see their faces on YouTube a million times, with the googly eyes, saying, 83% of the time I win, and here's the foolproof strategy of doing something that doesn't fucking work. I'm happily surprised. The fact that he got to expected value just like a minute into the video, like, gets instant credibility from me. But let's see where this goes.
EV. There's no such thing as a pro craps player because you can't get positive EV in craps. The closest you can come to a professional slots player is to become a slots influencer, but at that point, the money comes from sponsorships and AdSense and undisclosed free roll money from casinos who are happy to pay for your normalization of high risk activities.
Does anyone watch those slot streamers? I've never seen them. I mean, are they on Twitch or something? Can you do that on YouTube? Because they have this slot like stake.us or something. I think that's the big one. Is that the big one? I don't know. Do I have a promo code for that? No idea. Right. So these sweepstakes slot sites, and then people just go and just play. They play slots on streams and you sweat them. I don't even think slots are entertaining when I just physically myself. I mean, I think I can count the amount of times I've played slot machine on like one hand or something. I think it's the boringest shit. Right. And people actually go and watch other people play slots. If you have the personality, like, maybe some people out there, if you're watching right now, would love to see me, play slots and fucking make fun of the slot machine or talk about other shit. I mean, it's very similar to video games, I guess. Right. I mean, I guess I'm the old guy. I'm the old guy. I'm the old guy shouting at clouds saying, people spend 7 hours watching someone play a fucking video game. Go ahead and play a goddamn video game yourself. So maybe it's the same thing with slots. Do people get a thrill out of watching other people play slots? I know I wouldn't.
I know that gambling is inherently evil is a pretty popular take right now, but my specific stance is a little bit looser. If you can't calculate EV, you should not gamble more than you're happy to lose.
Okay, that's okay. There you go. I agree with this. If you turn on this video and you're like, I have no idea what EV is, I have no idea what expected value is, it's like that's like one of the core concepts of like all of gambling or all of advantage play of all of anything. So if this is a new concept to you, EV, just the concept of EV. I'm not even saying how to even calculate it, right? If you don't even understand that, like, well, if you're getting minus 110 on a coin flip, that like you're going to lose money over time, then you should just be betting and gambling for entertainment. Don't bet more than you can lose. Have fun. Put $5 on the game. Fucking watch it on TV for 3 hours. Have something to root for, and you're good. I have no problem with that. So I don't think gambling is inherently evil, but it is an entertainment product for 99% of people. The problem is that that 98% of those 99% of people think that they're gonna win. That they have some type of skill that they know what team's gonna do what and everything like that, when they actually don't.
If you don't know what EV is, you shouldn't gamble a single dollar on anything. I also want to quickly state that if you feel like listening to me talking about gambling might influence you to gamble in any way, to any degree, you should skip this video.
He's concerned that him just talking about gambling makes me want to gamble. Maybe I should be watching this video while playing slots, right? I should be a slot streamer. How often do we see a YouTube video about sports betting that actually has some amount of responsibility in it? He didn't even wait for the end of the video for this. Right in the beginning, he said, hey, if you don't know what EV is, fucking skip. And if this is going to cause you to have a gambling problem, get the fuck out of here. I mean, that's essentially what he said. He's doing more RG efforts, right? Responsible gaming efforts than any of the goddamn sites, right? You can't even get that from DraftKings or FanDuel or any of those fucking places.
Of posting this is strictly to illustrate some real paradigm-shifting discoveries I made during the last month. Plus, a lot of this won't make sense to someone who can't, for example, read Oz. Anyway, the target audience of this monologue is someone with the risk of falling into the mobile sports betting trap. Unfortunately, right now, that's a pretty big audience. I bet you know somebody you want to send this to already. To any viewer who still remains, let this be the big bombshell. Good sports betting is not a measure of sports knowledge. It is a measure of pricing knowledge. Whenever I heard urban myths about successful sports bettors, it was always a story like, yeah, I saw this guy who tracked the menstrual cycle of all the WNBA players and then bet the under according to which team was likely on their period.
Does that work? Does that work? Is that an actual edge? Did he make that up? Is that like some fictional example? Are we going to be able to do that? Is the edge blown? I wouldn't even have thought about that at all. Subtract the menstrual period of the WNBA players, and then is there some type of thing where if they're on their period they play worse? Is that a thing? Is that an actual thing? All I know is that I wouldn't want to be the coach when everyone's on the same cycle, right? Is that a myth? I don't know. Someone tell me in the comments. Is that a myth when the women are friends with each other and they end up on the same cycle? Does that thing actually is that like an urban myth or something? But yeah, do you have a group of women, 6 women, they all end up on the same cycle, right? Imagine that on a WNBA team, right? You have 12 women on the WNBA team all on the same cycle. Do they play worse? They probably play angrier. They're probably more irritable. Probably they're probably going to foul more, right? Are these stereotypes? Am I canceled? Am I not allowed to say this? I have no idea, but it's an interesting angle. It's actually interesting angle. I just don't know whether or not this is a real angle that existed, right? Is that built into the market? Should I be going on WNBA, odd screens and tracking menstrual periods? Do the games go under? Do people foul out more? I don't know. The fact that the cook or the chef, I'm upgrading. Fuck it. He's the chef in my eyes. I think already 2 minutes in, he's a chef in my eyes. So the chef seems to know more about gambling on sports for someone that doesn't watch sports and doesn't gamble than nearly every video I've ever seen on YouTube to do with sports betting.
That is how we imagine someone with an edge, but a real edge is made by understanding the disparity in odds across different books. Here are 10 sports books showing their odds for which team is going to win the game. The teams are made up. The sport is made up. This is for an imaginary sport called gumball. Your total and complete lack of knowledge about the rules, players, and trends has zero impact on the fact that there is one good bet to be made here. If you're playing poker against one other player and you have pocket aces pre-flop, you should be willing to bet all of your chips on those cards. That's because you have a roughly 80% chance of winning, regardless of what the other guy has. 20% of the time you will lose, but you need to understand that going all in is a positive EV move, even if you don't win. Placing a bet on this gumball team is going to yield positive expected value by the nature of the fact that no matter how long of a long shot it is, you could place the bet 10 billion times and then win more than all of these algorithms determined that you should.
Well, I'm assuming that he's showing the odds. I mean, he's putting obviously a fictional example up there with the gumball game. He's showing that like almost all the books have like it as practically an even matchup. So if you see across the odds for 14 different books and it's all minus 110s and plus 110s and then you see plus 500, yet I mean I don't know if they even take your bet at that point. That seems like almost an obvious error. They may screw you there anyway. You'll make the bet and they fucking void it no matter what. Yeah, if you ever saw a plus 500 where everyone else in the market has it at plus 110, most likely that's going to be a profitable bet. But let me tell you, if you get any amount of money down on that, and your accounts aren't going to look very good afterwards.
Best bet I ever placed was on some random Illinois college basketball game that was so inconsequential that it wasn't aired on any sports network. MGM offered a bet on UIC winning the game at plus 3,400 odds. That means a $100 bet would win $3,400. That was a mistake. Seconds later, they adjusted those odds to something like plus 150. But I had already effectively bought the bet at a discount.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have an MGM account anymore. I hopefully at the end of this he has any accounts left. Obviously, the concept of what he's talking about is that this game was not on TV. He knows nothing about college basketball. He just saw that there was an obvious error. The sportsbook said that this is priced at that this team has a plus 3,400. What the hell is that? Like a 2% chance of winning or something, right? Implied probability when it really should be 40%, right? At plus 150, right? So essentially, the rest of the market says it's 40%, but you're getting paid as if it's a 2% probability. That's going to show an immense amount of profit long term. It's going to be a very high expected value bet. The problem, which I hope he addresses in this video, is that if you find errors like that, you're not gonna have these accounts anymore, or you're not going to be able to bet more than $5 fucking dollars.
And I'll roll a D20 and then give you $300 if it lands on anything but a 1. That is a positive EV bet. You might lose, but the thing about having a positive EV is that you can do nothing but place hundreds of positive EV bets every day and thus operate like a casino, winning some, losing some, but statistically making like 5% profit over millions of bets. But that still involves risk, and you'd have to maintain a bankroll healthy enough to withstand long periods of big losses. And so, alternatively, you can hedge the bet for a guaranteed win no matter the outcome. The payout will be less because you have to use a portion of it to fund the hedge, but it's a win-win scenario. In the Illinois example, I had a choice between letting the game play out to either lose 100 or win 3,400, or place a bet on that team losing and then get like $900 no matter what. When you place a bet on both sides for a guaranteed win, that's called arbitrage. I'm going to call arbitrage bets ARBs as shorthand. A funny thing about ARBs is that they work wonders on new customer promos. Anytime you see a sportsbook ad, it's like, join now for $1,500 in free bonus bets. And if you know how to place both sides of an outcome, you can reliably turn those bonus bets into real withdrawable cash.
Okay,
Hopefully,
the fact that he's figured that out is pretty impressive for a cook or a chef. I wouldn't necessarily use the bonus bets to arb or hedge or whatever. The expected value on the original bet, assuming it's plus EV, is going to be higher on the bonus bet than if you try to arbitrage, only because you're playing the vig on the other side. But yeah, but the fact that the goddamn guy that just fucking makes food videos figured this out is impressive enough to me. Most people don't even get to this point. Most people that bet on sports, they open up the goddamn app, they don't think in these terms. They don't think in terms of arbitrage and expected value at all, right? And they don't think in terms of like betting on things that's not on TV, that they know nothing about or anything like that. That this is essentially a financial game.
you get how all this works now. In total, I joined like 10 sports books, churned their promo offers, and placed like 6 ARBs a day. If that's all that happened, I'd probably have just cashed out and gone on my merry way without making a video. But through talking about it with friends and people like my wife's coworkers, some really interesting conversations took place.
Yeah, the interesting conversations, more like interventions, right? It's much more likely that you'll have an intervention than have an actual conversation because most people don't get this. Most people don't get this stuff. I don't talk about this with regular fucking people. Regular fucking people don't get this shit. I don't barely talk about poker with regular people because poker's a little bit more because you've seen it on TV and there's such a thing as a professional poker player. And people kind of get the fact that you're playing against other people. You're not playing against the casino. So it's looked a little bit better than it used to be as some type of, degenerate gambling activity. But sports betting, I mean, no one in their real life, like they don't see TV shows about, professional sports bettors. And truthfully, professional sports bettors aren't, the way they make money is not to be in the public eye to begin with. I think it's much, much more looked at as a degenerate activity than something that, yeah, you're a professional sports bettor, right? What type of conversation he's had with his wife's coworkers or some shit? I wouldn't bring it up. I wouldn't fucking bring it up. And anytime you're talking to a layperson, you're like, I got the system. I guarantee you that at least half the time, the other person's like, yeah, buddy, you got a system, right? If you had that much of a system, you wouldn't be talking to me. You'd be fucking living in fucking Tahiti.
Here are some popular reactions. 1, that must be really hard. Actually, it's disconcertingly easy. I thought you'd need to be a pretty smart person, or at least be prepared to live the lifestyle of a day trader, but no, you can pay like $75 a month for access to automated software that tells you what to bet on, and if you're at your desk, you can have your bets for the day placed in like 90 seconds. That's crazy. Someone this bad at math shouldn't be able to serve quant. Think about how hard it is to be a card counter in blackjack. That's a lot of work and studying for like a 2% edge compared to signing up for an app that gives you a 10 to 15% edge instantly. It's like being able to download karate into your brain.
I'm almost hoping at the end of the video that he can't bet on sports anymore because he's considered too sharp, right? It's like, oh, I've done all of this. I made X amount of dollars, and now my max bet on Bet365 is $1.37. Like, I hope that's the end of it. I hope. I'm rooting for his failure. I'm rooting for him to make money and then not being able to ever make any more money ever again.
2, okay, can you just tell me what to bet on then? No, you have to act very quickly. I can't take a screenshot of a bet and then share it with all my friends because it's usually a matter of getting an alert of a pricing error, placing the bet as quickly as possible before it gets corrected, and hopefully being able to do all that in a matter of seconds. 3, that sounds like a lot of work. No way. Paying attention to 100 games to place a stupid long shot parlay sounds like hard work. When I did this, I didn't have to think, analyze. I almost never even watched the games.
Right. You wouldn't believe how many people that that think it's crazy. I play poker, live poker and shit at the table. And there'll be games on the screens where I have prop bets on, and well, what are you rooting for? It's like I have no idea. I have no idea. I have 100 things in. I have no idea. I guess, and I'll take a look at the score or something. Okay. I mean, I guess I have some Celtics over, so if they're doing well, I'm probably doing well, something like that. And they're just amazed that like you're not even paying attention because that's the main part of the entertainment for people. I mean, that's essentially the difference. That's why I'm the one that looks crazy to most people. It's like, you mean you place bets and you're not even going to watch the game? It's like, no, my work is done. My work is done. I've already calculated the EV of all these bets, and my expected return is X. And let's see if I realize my equity tonight. That's about it. That's about it. Am I changing anything by watching it? Do people think that? Do people think, well, if I don't watch it, then my bet isn't going to come in because for some reason I helped the team win or I helped the player score more points or whatever. So, like, yeah, people find it weird. I mean, this guy apparently doesn't. Right? This guy, I'm going to be best friends with this guy. He's going to cook me a meal. He can cook up plays. Let him cook up anything he wants. I will eat whatever he wants.
Okay, at least admit that it takes all of the excitement out of it. Absolutely not. My excitement came from seeing a good deal pop up, not from spending 2 hours wringing my hands over the number of rebounds a player might get. 5. Okay, then why not just take all of your money out of your retirement accounts and then do this at scale? Even though arbitrage-enabling websites like to make this claim, it's not a risk-free activity. You can make a human error. You can have one bet voided for any reason, and then suddenly your ARB that nets $50 could turn into a $500 loss. 6. This one always frustrated me. People would say, okay, but you have to bet a lot to win a little. Like, bro, you bet $20,000 on FanDuel last year and lost $2,000. Wouldn't you rather win a little than lose? If you ask me how much I would put into an investment that yields 5% daily compounding ROI guaranteed, I'd say, hot dog, that's too good to be true. As we've already discussed, it is too good to be true, but I bring this up to illustrate a mismatch in expectations. All of these conversations were so interesting to me because they make apparent that when people gamble, winning isn't really what they're after. They want the rush, the risk.
There you go. Especially the one that said, oh, you have to put a lot, you have to bet a lot to win a little. It's like, well, I mean, you're arbitraging. So it's just like getting interest from a bank. It's just like getting a bond, right? From treasury bond or some bullshit, right? It's like, but you get to do it every day, right? And as long as you're able to maintain that, then it will be profitable. But I hope I've been saying this whole video. At what point do his accounts get limited? I want to know. We're halfway through the video. At the end, I want him to be destitute. I took out my entire retirement and I tried to do this every fucking day. And now I have to live in fucking Laos and have, 140 beards running around across the fucking world, moving money around. I want to get to that point, right? Probably not, obviously. He's still doing the fucking cooking shit.
The rare chance to win life-changing money or the validation that they know the most about sports. But I really hope people can get this. It's not about sports knowledge. It's about pricing knowledge. I've explained this whole thing to certain friends and they still don't get it. They'll text me on the weekends like, hey, bro, what does your AI thingy say about the Suns' chances of beating the spread tonight? Such predatory advertising relies on this misunderstanding.
Right, this misunderstanding that if you know more about sports, you could win, right? And technically it's true, but it's sports compared to a probability, right? If you could correctly price the lines and be better than the sports books, then you will make money. But it still has to come down to price, right? It still comes down to, I think the Suns are going to win, but would you bet them at minus 5,000? They go, no. It's like, would you bet them at minus 500? They go, no. Would you bet them at minus 200? And they go, maybe. Said, how about minus 180? Possibly. How about minus 150? It's like, yeah, I'd bet them at minus 150. It's like, how about minus 162? And then you keep on going until there's till what they think the price should be, right? That's essentially what you're doing. So a lot of times I like explaining stuff with sides and totals and shit like that to people like that. Of like, what would your price for the game be?
It's Eric Andre ad where he literally embodies the nagging addictive itch to place a bet based on a hunch. This social sidebar right on the homepage where people share their expert analysis with spreadsheets and past game data. None of it matters if you don't consider pricing. Look at this clip where two people are speculating on the NCAA championship. Jamie Vernon says, my team will win the championship. Shane Gillis says, nuh-uh, my team will. And Joe Rogan says, both of you guys should place a bet on it at 1-to-1 odds. That's an unbelievably stupid bet. If you know how pricing works and understand EV, you know that it makes 0 sense outside of posturing how confident someone might be in their underdog. I don't know anything about Dana White, save for the fact that he owns the UFC and is heralded as a famously good blackjack player. But I looked up his playstyle, and it's deranged, embarrassing, childish, based in superstition. These examples suggest to me that obscuring the one way to get an edge is how you get young men to place stupid bets.
Split shit you're not supposed to split. Double on shit you're not.
Take hits you're not supposed to hit.
You try to fuck up the shoe.
Okay.
Any way you possibly can.
DraftKings is testing out a monthly subscription where you can buy better odds, but just on the bet types that are most profitable for DraftKings. There is no shame.
Yeah, you could. I mean, as of the recording of this video, I mean, you could get like these bet boosts. They have these step bet boosts. The only reason what these sites are doing it is because, well, if you subscribe to something for $20, you're much more likely to be placing 4 leg, 5 leg, 6 leg parlays, and that's what they want. That's what they want. And 99% of people, these bets have, 20, 30, 40% holds that they're not going to overcome. This is why the entire industry is pretty predatory. And if you know anything about anything, they don't want you. They basically don't want you. This is, you actually kind of have some sense of what's going on. Yeah. There's that limit button, and get the fuck out of here.
Levied at those who are truly stupid gamblers. Why does DraftKings serve its users with hot tips from local experts right on the homepage? Isn't that going to cut into their profits? But sportsbooks want to serve you smart info from smart guys with detailed spreadsheets and verifiable data because it ignores pricing. It doesn't matter if you have a supercomputer that proves beyond a doubt that the Chiefs have a 90% chance of winning if the bets are priced as if the Chiefs have a 91% chance at winning. The bet could be, will the coin at the start of the game land on heads or tails, and each outcome will be priced as if they each have a 65% chance of hitting. It's this total lack of pricing knowledge that lets these companies keep cranking the vig up, where a 50-50 coin flip isn't sold at plus 100 odds, not even minus 105 or minus 110, but minus 115. That is a 15% haircut off the top of millions and millions of bets per day, and it keeps getting higher unless we can societally get to a point where losing players are easily identified and labeled as such. It's going to be hard to stop this sports betting epidemic we're living through right now. And let me be explicit here. I think that what we are witnessing in real time right now is like Sackler family level harm done to our country's population.
Now we get the sermons. I guess this is what the sermons are on his YouTube page. But it is predatory, especially when a lot of the advertising has to do with do you know sports? And if you do, come here and win. And then they find out that it's, 1, not about sports, and 2, if you win, you're done. Right? If you're too good, they don't want you anyway.
Of which will be felt for generations to come. Young men aren't doing well. We're lonely, our anxiety is high, our literacy is low, and falling into a gambling addiction is a strong indicator for financial ruin and early death.
Wow, this escalated quickly. He went from this is an epidemic to just everyone's gonna die. We're almost done with the video, and we've gotten to the death portion. The death that, hey, I learned how to sports bet, and I realized that if you don't do it this way, you're fucking dead. They're gonna fucking kill you.
An advantage, you are going to lose. And since the vast majority of bettors don't understand what an advantage really looks like, I'm deeply pessimistic about these trends. So, this is my new job, right? Or at least my side hustle. Why do any work when I could ramp up my bankroll to $10,000 a day, earn 5% compounding daily, and have a $200,000 annual income? Here's the kicker.
Okay, let's see. Does he get to the point where they fucking kneecap him? I hope they kneecap him. I hope on the Caesars app they just told him to go fuck themselves. I want to see this. Fanatics. I mean, he probably got limited. He probably opened up the app and got limited on Fanatics, right? So who knows? Let's see. I hope so. I'm praying. I'm praying that this guy, right? Because I mean, he's setting it up that like, well, why don't I just put in $10,000 of bets a day at an average of 5% edge, which is a little bit high, but even 2-3%, and then have that compound daily until you're Elon Musk, until you have your own SpaceX or some bullshit. He's probably gonna tell you why that putting that plus 3,400 as what it. I would have to think that bet was voided when it was up at plus 3,400 when it should have been plus 150. Yeah, your account is going to get flagged pretty fucking quickly.
That makes sure that would never work. You will get banned very quickly from any sportsbook for advantaged gambling. banned is shorthand. What they really do is limit your maximum bet size. My max bet size at bet365.com is $2.
See, there you go. He did it. It happened. He got kneecapped. Motherfucking kneecapped. They said, go fuck yourself.
My max bet size at MGM is
Ooh,
$8.
$8. Okay, that's pretty high at BetMGM, right? FanDuel and DraftKings, their limits, they'll let you put down $20, right? And maybe does he get to that? I'm surprised he didn't get that. Maybe he doesn't have Fanatics in his state or whatever. Fanatics will just limit. I mean, they'll just limit you even before you place a bet. I mean, it'll be like Minority Report type of shit. Fanatics is that. Fanatics will figure out what you're betting 3 years from now and then ban you now. And even though you didn't even sign up for a goddamn account.
Was limited the day after that plus 3,400 bet that I mentioned earlier. UIC won, by the way. When I started all this, I was mostly excited to earn a bunch of MGM rewards points, so I would be a big baller on Vegas trips, but no, I will never earn a meaningful amount of points because I'd have to bet $8 a billion times this year to move up by one rewards tier. You don't even have to win to get limited. I got limited to $10 on Fanatics in just 6 bets.
See, it happened. It happened. I knew it would happen. Oh, this is my favorite video now, right? Most people do not even fucking pay attention to the end of this video, right? I'm glad. 330,000 people have watched this video, right? I hope they understand it. We'll look at the comments in a second, but yeah, no, this guy gets it. This guy fucking gets it. The cook gets it. Michelin star. I'm giving him a Michelin star. This guy is a Michelin star level sports bettor. Okay. For a general public, I guess. I mean, he obviously doesn't know a lot of the, how to get around those limits and how to get accounts and how to fucking move money and all that type of shit. But he gets it. This guy fucking gets it. I just like the fact I predicted. It's like, I hope he has Fanatics in his state, right? He got limited 6 bets. Okay, that's pretty good. That's probably double the amount that most people get limited. So most of it would be in 3 bets. For me, it was 0 bets. But Minority Report shit. How do you get limited in 0 bets? I have no fucking clue. How the fuck does that happen? Do I have fucking spy cameras in my fucking house? How the fuck do they know?
And all 6 of them lost. Sports bets have a closing line value, or CLV. If I got a good deal placing a bet at plus 150 and the CLV was minus 300, that means I beat the CLV. I bought the wager at a price that was better than the normal guy. And if you beat the CLV like 80% of the time, alarm bells are going to go off. Like, kick this guy out. He's doing something to get an edge. Another downside to advantage sports betting is that you will learn nothing applicable to real life.
I don't know if this is true. I mean, if you understand, probability and statistics and stuff like that, I mean, you could apply this to a lot of things.
One reason why I spent 2 years studying poker was for the transferable skills: decision making with incomplete information, emotional regulation, quick EV calculations, and making friends. You will not make any friends staring at your PC for 2 hours a day making.
You mean you guys are not my friends? Hi, friends. I thought you guys are my friends, right? That's why I'm doing these videos, right? This guy says that you're not going to make any friends. All you guys are hit the like button if you want to be friends with me, right? Do I have to say that? Comment spam. Are you my friend? Comment below if you're my friend. I hope I want you to be my friend. So that maybe that's the reason I'm doing these videos. People, this is my cry for help. I'm only doing a YouTube channel because I desperately need friends. So will you be my friend?
I didn't learn a single thing about sports either. So even if I put a $500 ARB on Tyrese Maxey's rebound over under 10 times this season, I still couldn't tell you what team the fella's even on. My favorite bets were on Chinese sports because I could make one before bed and then wake up to $20. This era is over for me, forever. Even if a buddy was like, hey, can you do that thing for me and then use my identity and give me 50% of the winnings? I would have to decline. Not only is it against the terms of service, but think of the tax implications. If I won $1,000, you would get 500, and then next April, come tax time, your identity is going to owe half of that in taxes for the winnings, leaving you with just $260. It doesn't make sense. The only time this skill might come back up is when my son turns 18. I would consider doing this for him since he could make enough money for his first car or something, and then I'd get to rest easy knowing he's banned from every sports book for life.
I like this is the equivalent, the old school. I don't think, and has this actually happened where like you would see in these like cartoons or shows or something from like the 50s where the kid, right, some 12, 13-year-old is caught smoking, right, smoking cigarettes. And the dad catches him smoking, and then as a punishment to teach him a lesson, forces him to smoke like the entire pack like back to back to back to back to back, so just doesn't like fucking cigarettes anymore. I think this is the equivalent of that. I saw you placed a $5 SGP on FanDuel. So you know what I'm going to force you to do? Sit in front of this odds screen for 16 hours a day for the next 4 weeks, and you're actually going to make money. You're going to make money all this time, and then you're just going to get sick, and it's not going to be entertaining. None of you're going to completely forget about the fact that you're not going to watch any of the sports. We're going to take away your TV, and then you're going to get sick of it, and you're going to get banned from anywhere, and you're never going to be able to place a sports bet ever again. Maybe that is a good strategy. Is it? Is that good parenting?
Then again, there's an argument to be made for this act of limiting advantaged bettors being likely to push them into unregulated offshore gambling, but that's a whole other can of worms. I hope that you see why this has all been such a fascinating experience. But if I could single out one finding and pass it on to a big audience, it would be this. If you have a sports betting account that's more than a month old and still in good standing, you are a loser.
This guy is the best. This guy is the goddamn best. That was great. That's a great way to end this. If you've been betting for more than a month and you haven't been limited, you're a goddamn loser. I love. Oh, that's. But make that a T-shirt. Tell this Shaquille guy to make that a T-shirt. He gets another Michelin star for that. I don't know if anyone's put it that way. Really, stares right in the camera. Just stares right in the camera. Says, "Do you have a sports betting account? Has it been active for more than a month? Is it in good standing? Well, then you're a goddamn loser." To put things into perspective, like, no, but I'm not that person. No, you're a loser. You're a fucking loser. Fucking just close your account. You're never gonna win. You're a goddamn loser. I like this guy's attitude. Fucking Michelin star chef. This guy is the sports betting chef. I'm giving him the title. Michelin star. 2, 3 Michelin stars. This guy gets it. I didn't think so. Typically, I do these videos and I'm making fun of how bad they get it wrong. And turns out everyone gets it wrong, and this guy fucking gets it. This guy actually gets it. This is actually useful betting content because it'll tell people that they're fucking losers, right? I'll do that normally. I'll do that anyway, right? But this guy just stares right in the camera and says, "Hey, if you're watching this video and you have a sports betting account in good standing for more than a month, yeah, you're not a good bettor. Fucking stop."
Idea that most guys betting on sports every weekend are pretty much breaking even is wrong. Anyone can get lucky on a long shot. But as soon as you demonstrate the ability to get a real edge, the one that understands that odds pricing is the only thing that matters, you are kicked out for life. And now that my money is no good at any sports book with legal action in my state of residence, it's back to the kitchen for me.
Back to the kitchen. He's going back to the kitchen, people. So that was what everyone gets wrong about gambling on sports from the sports betting chef. He's legitimately a sports betting chef. Maybe I should get his roasted chicken recipe or some shit like that. This guy knows what he's fucking talking about. I want his food videos to be like, if you don't have this baking soda in your cabinet for more than a month, you're a fucking loser. Like I want his cooking videos to be that blunt.